Nathan Gaucher for the face-off. And a scramble draw, one back. And the puck bounced away from Will Cooley. Back to center ice it goes, and played around by Ethan Del Mastro, who got the call from Canada just days before the tournament opened, after Damon Hunt was injured in one of the final practices before the tournament. And here's Connor Bedard, scored a spectacular goal against Finland in the round robin. He has 4 in 6 games. Cooley in on the forecheck, that's taken away by Emil Viro. And back at center ice, it's pulled back by Lucas Cormier. Del Mastro, lead pass for Gaucher. Ahead to Bedard. In comes Connor Bedard, a backhand shot that goes wide. And Bedard knocked the sticker out of the hands of the Finnish defender, Samuel Helenius. In comes Sabrango. Spins it back around, Zellweger steps up. Back in the corner it goes, and after it is Hoffman, Brendan Hoffman knocks that down. At the line, picked up by Zellweger. Holds the line, feeds it back in front, that's picked up by Emma Salmi. Puts it high in the air and back down to the Canadian zone.
Given how good they both are every year.
Face-off was won by Helenius, who scored against Canada in the preliminary round. Now that's picked up by Helenius. Works it in, shoots, it goes off a leg and wide, picked up by Seeley. Chops it around to Del Mastro. Del Mastro, up ahead for Cooley, chips it ahead quickly, and brought up by Gaucher. Gaucher for Bedard. Connor Bedard taking to the end boards hard. As Rafkin slammed into him. Bouncing puck in front, that's gloved down by Rafkin. And ahead he goes to Helenius, who needs off the ice. Rafkin peels back as the Finns are changing.
Rafkin shows some confidence. Not dumping it in, he's going to take it back for a regroup and allow his team to change.
Aatu Ratu's been a top player for Finland in the tournament, 10 points in 6 games. This game features the 6 top point getters so far in the tournament. Ratu, a centering pass broken up by Del Mastro. And ahead for McTavish. Out there with Bedard and Waugh. Bouncing puck, and Bedard was slammed there at the blue line. Bumped him offside, and Canada has to tag up. Banks it back to center ice. Liukas on it. And now Putnio being forced there by Gaucher. Gaucher got clipped with a stick. And back goes Sabrango with a quick look. For Seeley. Chips that to Bedard. Connor Bedard feeds out ahead. Rink wide pass by Sabrango goes off the stick of Gaucher.
Offense.
Bedard was spilled there. Gaucher knocks it down. Bedard, one of 11 Canadians who's eligible to return next year, including most of their top players. McTavish, Stankhoven, Zellweger, all among those players who are young enough to play in Halifax and Moncton in December. Rink wide pass to Väisänen. Väisänen walks in and shoots. Karan makes the stop. Hangs on Putnio. Bedard steps into Putnio. And Del Mastro plays it back around. Hoffman pokes it back, gloved down by Heimosalmi. Picked up now by Kapanen. Works in. Kapanen had a roll off his stick. And Del Mastro plays it back across, but not out. Heimosalmi has that pass intercepted by Cormier. And back around he goes to Del Mastro. Up ahead for Bedard, who taps it back to Cormier. The 2-time Quebec League Defenseman of the Year. Lead pass from McTavish. Escape blades come off here. And so Kemmel's lost his blade. While back in front, knocked away. Kemmel taking off the ice. It's 5-on-4 right now.
Sabrango's got to recognize it and get involved in the play. Don't worry about the guy behind you.
McTavish to Waugh. Run by Cormier. Back to Waugh. In, shoots. That was blocked. Bouncing puck in front. Goes back to Waugh. Here's Sabrango with it. Centers it. Bedard had it now. The goaltender, Jakala, was spilled. He's arguing with the official. And Ratu lined up by Bedard.
Back, which allowed for the time and space for the drag release.
Now picked up by Del Mastro. Ethan Del Mastro spins back away from Väisänen. Plays it back around to Cormier. And Lucas Cormier winds his way out. Plays it off Bedard's helmet and back down to the Finnish zone. Cooley got spun around as he tried to knock down Viro. Oh, big hit missed there by Bedard, just on Kapanen. And Bedard has not been afraid to throw his weight around here, such as it is in this tournament.
A lot of people have taken a little run, little shots at Bedard, so he's giving him back.
Super close, and Dufour has talked about the impact she's had on him. So now Canada on the power play. 8 for 14 on the man advantage in the tournament. Johnson down to McTavish. 7 different players have scored power play goals. Johnson shoots, turned away by Yakula. Bouncing puck in front, still loose. Picked up by Johnson. Here's Bedard back with it. Honor Bedard. Feeds that back to Zellweger for Stankoven. Back to Zellweger for Johnson. Kent Johnson winds that down to McTavish. Moves to the front of the goal. McTavish walks in, waits, trying to find the stick of Johnson. Taps it back across. That's knocked out by Miro.
That is some creativity down in front of the net by Kent Johnson.
Now the puck at his feet. Got bumped there by Mata. And Mata lets it back down to the Canadian zone where Garand gloves it. Zellweger moves it back across, pokes that in for Johnson. Winding his way in, Kent Johnson. Drops it back. Here's McTavish, steps around Kapanen, drops it off to Stankoven. Logan Stankoven feeds that back to Johnson, now back at the point for Zellweger. Zellweger to McTavish. McTavish back to Johnson, works it across. Here's McTavish to handle that pass, sends it rink wide. Stankoven had that handcuff him. Now Johnson misfires on it. McTavish got to slap that back across, gets taken down and drops it back to Johnson. 30 seconds to go in this Canadian power play. Johnson to McTavish. Walks right back in front. Yakula save, point blank. And the rebound cleared down the ice by Yermo. In 2022. Here's Sealy. Back across to Cooley. And Will Cooley fires that down to the Finnish zone. Yakula to play, lost it. Gaucher almost had a chance at the side of the goal. Now Gaucher goes in on the Niemela. And Niemela plays that to an open wing where Järventie swings that back for Rafkin. Rafkin for Järventie. Järventie works in, backhand shot, deflects wide. Simon Tybel with it. Kasper Simon Tybel lost that puck to Gaucher, and Bedard has it back. Bedard. Great play to wind away from 2 Finnish forecheckers. Now moves it back to center ice. In comes Connor Bedard. Penalty coming now as he got hooked. And Yermo check.
They can find a way to get one past Yakula.
Mata wins that face-off back, and Putio sends it down the ice. Garand almost turned that over to Väisänen. And here is Zellweger with it. Roland Zellweger. Plays for Everett in the Western Hockey League. Drops it back to the Regina superstar, Connor Bedard. McTavish plays it back around to Stankoven. Logan Stankoven. Back down to Bedard. That skipped away. McTavish looking for it, and the puck cleared down the ice by Niemela. Garand. Long lead pass to Johnson with the Finns changing. He finds McTavish. McTavish works in. Taken down. Back at the point is Johnson. To McTavish. Bedard was knocked down in front. Now Johnson back with it. McTavish pulls it back. Shoots to put that wide. Oh, between the legs shot there. Stankoven. Back to Bedard. For McTavish. To Johnson. Johnson swings that back to Zellweger. Zellweger to Stankoven. Back to Zellweger. Wrist shot tipped just wide by Bedard. Stankoven. Back to Zellweger. Cross he goes to Johnson. 45 seconds to go on the power play. Zellweger holds the line. Works it across. Johnson. Pivots around. Drops it off to McTavish. Mason McTavish directing traffic. Drops it back to Zellweger. To Stankoven. To the goal mouth. There's Johnson trying to pull it back across. Zellweger beats it from McTavish. A hard shot. Rebound loose in front. And Johnson couldn't reach that. McTavish back with it. For Johnson. Back to Zellweger. Johnson slap pass across. Stankoven shoots. It's tipped away by Rafkin. Johnson back with it. Tired Finnish penalty killers on the ice now. Here's Johnson, a one-time shot that was off the mask of Yakula.
Maybe the hardest I've ever seen Kent Johnson shoot a puck, that one-timer right there.
Zellweger back across to Johnson. Final seconds of the power play. Johnson drops it back. Bedard, a hard shot. He ripped that wide. Bouncing puck on the side of the goal. Knocked down by Rafkin. They think it's in. No. No shots on the last one. Stankoven pokes that back to Zellweger. Keeps it alive for McTavish. McTavish back to Johnson. This top group back out there. Kent Johnson in for Bedard. Tip that wide. Johnson slides it back to Bedard. Bedard waits, shoots short side, and Yakula. Bedard Slides that back to Johnson, and Bedard can't quite hold the line as Canada tags back up. Bedard works it across the line, drops it off to Johnson. And Kent Johnson winds in. To McTavish. Back to Zellweger. Across he goes to Stankoven. Logan Stankoven drops that down to Johnson. Johnson puts it back to McTavish. And McTavish. Well, that pass is picked up and brought out by Kapanen shorthanded. Kapanen works it on Zellweger. Stays on it. And now McTavish picks up the loose puck, and he'll wind ahead. Kapanen trapped in deep in the Canadian zone as McTavish winds in with Bedard. Drops it back to Johnson. Feeds that back to Zellweger. Works it and shoots. Bounces puck around. Bedard with a chance. Still loose in front. Stankoven reaching for it. Yakula down. That's a pad save. Chopped to the line, and Zellweger holds it. Zellweger back across to Johnson. 40 seconds to go on the power play. McTavish to Johnson. Johnson back to Zellweger. Winds it across. Johnson walks right into the puck. Roll off his stick, and Kapanen plays it out.
Yakula has gotten busy on these power plays. He got to bear down and try to convert here. Take advantage of the man advantage.
Face off won by Kapanen. Sent down the ice. Canada 0 for 3 on the power play. 5 shots total. And here is Zellweger, the power play quarterback. Drops that back to McTavish, the captain. Steams through center ice, native of Carp, Ontario. Drops that back to Johnson. McTavish, the bump to the end boards. Here's Bedard, back for Johnson. For Zellweger. Zellweger to Stankoven. Back to Zellweger. Johnson elects not to shoot. Bounces off his stick. He plays it back to McTavish. Snaps that pass back for Zellweger, but it is out of his reach and back down the Canadian zone. They've added an assist on the Dufour goal to McTavish, so that's 17 points
in the
now.
Defensive zone before the rush started. So
now 1 away from tying the Canadian record. Here he comes again. McTavish shoots, goes off the stick of Väisänen. Bounces back to Stankoven. Stankoven. Lots of motion here in the power play. Back at the point it goes to Zellweger. Across to Johnson. Slaps that diagonally for Stankoven. To Zellweger. 45 seconds to go in the power play. Johnson, a one-time shot. Great save there by Yakula.
Guys down on the net. Got to get their sticks down on the ice. McTavish and Bedard. Johnson.
Back to McTavish. Swings that back to Zellweger. Zellweger to McTavish. A hard shot. Yakula save. It'll count. Had a long conversation with the officials at the end of the second period. And McTavish wins the draw back for Zellweger. Olin Zellweger drops that back to McTavish. Feeds that for Bedard. And now Bedard crisscrossing with Stankoven. Bedard shoved down. McTavish comes in. Ties up Pudio. Bedard back on it. Work that free for Stankoven. Logan Stankoven feeds it across. Johnson. On the side boards for McTavish. Back he goes to Zellweger for Stankoven. Lots of traffic. Stankoven down to Bedard. The centering pass for Johnson misfired. McTavish back with it. McTavish has to go off a leg. Bedard with a quick check. 3-1 over Slovakia. Levi Marilyn in the Ottawa draft picked a place for Kingston in the OHL. Was their starting netminder through the quarterfinals. But for the semifinal, the coach, Matthew Penman, played a hunch because Yakula has been very good against Sweden in exhibition games this year, in tournament games. He posted a shutout and gets the start in the gold medal game. Now Seeley lost the puck at the side of the goal, flip back in front. Here's Hemosalmi, he lost it, and the puck back to center ice. Duran plays it down to Seeley. Drop back for Cormier. And Lucas banked ahead now for Gaucher. He lost it for a moment. Yarvins, he kept it alive, but now Gaucher moves it out. And picked up by Yermo. To Pudio. Bedard fell. And played back to the Canadian line. Brought in by Mata. Mata swings it across. Yarvins, shot. Put that high. Bounces by Yermo. Bedard closes quickly on him. Across he goes to Pudio. In comes Mata with it. Steps around Gaucher and shoots. Duran the save. Rebound moves to the side of the goal. Grant's pad is down. Simon turned away. Furious pressure now from Finland. Hunting for a second goal. Cooley on it. And Will Cooley just flips that back down to the finish zone. This will be another icing against Oliver Kapanen, the cousin of Kasperi Kapanen, who scored the Golden goal for Finland in the 2016 World Junior Championship in Helsinki.
Face-off win there for Gaucher.
So Canada gets the change started. And here is Niemela with it. Tuppy Niemela. Well, point. McTavish wins the draw for Bedard. Back to Zellweger, and Canada gets set up. Bedard for Stankoven. Logan Stankoven plays it back down to McTavish. Mason McTavish centers it. It skipped away from Stankoven. Stankoven feeds it back to Zellweger. Cross it goes to Johnson. To Zellweger. Walks in. Johnson, a sharp angle shot. And Yakula got a piece of that. McTavish back on it. McTavish, great pass across. Johnson works in. Spins and shoots. That was blocked. As Emil Viro got in the way, it's sent back down to the Canadian zone. Garand leaves it there for Zellweger. Owen Zellweger drops it back for Connor Bedard. In comes Bedard across the line. Bedard spins back. McTavish tries to dig it free. The pass hit the official, and now it's poked away to change short-handed. As busting in is Liukas, comes in, and the puck rolls off his stick. A penalty coming now to Zellweger. Canadian power play. Johnson swings that back to Cormier. On comes Bedard. Connor Bedard off the bench. Feeds it back to Cormier for Zellweger. Back across for Cormier to Zellweger. Now hollering for a shot. Zellweger back down to Johnson. 50 seconds to go on the power play. Johnson, as Cormier makes his way off the ice, Stankoven comes on. McTavish spins that back for Zellweger. In for Johnson, walks right in, feeds it back, go McTavish on the outside of the post. And the crowd oohing and awing with every scoring chance here in the period. Stankoven up ahead to Bedard. Bedard slides it out to McTavish. The puck at his feet, picked off by Mata, and he'll send it down the ice. Zellweger back to pick it up, being closely watched there by Väisänen. And here is Bedard, inside 3 to go in regulation. McTavish up ahead for Johnson.
Need one of these forwards to get off the ice for Canada as the penalty's expired.
Now Stankoven waits for it. One shot for Canada on that short power play. Logan Stankoven works his way in. It bounces to Bedard. It skipped away from him. Picked back in. 12 to go in regulation. Face-off won by the Finns. McTavish races to it. Rafkin up ahead for Hirvonen. Plays it back down to Niemela. And there's a minute to go in regulation. Overtime looming in Edmonton of the 2022 World Junior Hockey Championship gold medal game. Putio at center ice, knocked down by Waugh. Now Waugh back on it. Joshua Waugh brings it in. From a sharp angle, shoots. And Yakula will save on that. Here's Putio back with it. 30 seconds to go in regulation. Putio winds his way in. On Sabrango, shoots. McTavish wins the face-off back, but Sabrango has to retreat to center ice. Being shouted there by Väisänen. Sabrango up for Bedard. In he comes, one-on-one with Rafkin. Shoots. That was blocked by Rafkin. Bedard knocks it down to McTavish. He's loose in the corner. McTavish swings back, drops it off to Bedard. That's poked away to chance now for Rafkin, the defenseman. He's jumping in. Back comes Sabrango. Rafkin spins back. He's got help arriving. As Helenius jumped on for the Finns. Back at the point. That long shot taken there by Liukas. Garand drops it down for Sabrango. Lead pass to Bedard. One-on-one in Niemela. In comes Connor Bedard. Walking in, shoots. And Yakula gets a piece of that. McTavish almost knocked that free. Now it's a 3-on-1 for Finland. In comes Liukas. Drops it back to Niemela. Liukas shoots and Garand makes the glove save. Drops it down. McTavish taken down by Helenius. Helenius centers it. Liukas in, plays it across. It's on the line. It's saved by McTavish.